Hello crafty friends, it's Jess from JessCrafts.com, and today I wanted to share one more quick project with the Ranger lettera line, just to show you the last two stamp sets from the line. So I have not yet used Celebration, which kind of surprised me because it actually has a lot of really great general sentiments. Like I think it could be used well for congratulations or birthday, so it doesn't have to say explicitly on the front of your card, happy birthday, but something like hooray or woohoo would be fun for a birthday. And the wedding. And I don't know anybody with a wedding coming up, so this is a little bit challenging, so I wasn't sure if I should just make a wedding card in the hopes of the future, but I think that this would be a great set to have because it has like those, really elegant elements of it. But I'm just going to use a little stamp from that set today, and I wanted to also use the lettera tags. Now the tag pack comes in 1, 2, and 3 size tags, and in the same colors, the ivory and the gray, so you get a good variety of tags in the mix. I like that this reinforcer is the same on both sides, so that because sometimes when you die cut your own tag, one side doesn't wind up as nice as the other because of the little marks in your plate, or you have to put the reinforcer on both sides and that's more work. So having some quick tags ready to go I think would be great. And I was thinking about making something that you could put on a little congratulations gift, to say congratulations to somebody for graduating or to put on a wedding gift. And I just thought I'll make a little tag, even though I don't necessarily know offhand what I'll use it for, but I just thought having it in with my gift wrapping supplies would be great. So I treated my tag with the embossing powder bag there, and now I'm using the lettera embossing ink to stamp congrats. And I want to stamp it such that there's going to be enough room for the 2U under it, and I also want to add some doodling around it. So I'm trying to keep those things in mind as I decide on my placement. As you can see, they stamp beautifully. The Ranger embossing embossing ink is gorgeous, and in the sense that it just stamps so I don't know the right word for it. I want to say juicy, but that's not quite it, because that might imply, I don't know, I just I'm really impressed with the quality of it. And now it could leave a just an impression like that. You don't actually have to use embossing powder over it. It just is a watermark ink instead if you let it dry. But I want to do this embossing with the gunmetal, and I'm going to do it like a very monochromatic gray on gray look. So I've put my embossing powder over my sentiment, and it's just going to make it stand out even more. But I thought it'd be fun to mix it up and not do both parts of the sentiment exactly the same. So when you heat emboss, you want to make sure your gun is hot before you bring it to the paper, just so that you get an even and fast melt. And where I am, it is quite chilly, so the little bit of warmth as I wait for the heat gun to get hot, it's actually quite nice. I mean, be very careful. You don't want to stick your fingers directly in the back of the heat gun and melts plastic, but I always kind of test to see if it's getting hot. Alright, so it just has that bit of shine to it that I think between the quality of the embossing powder and embossing ink, you can see has a really nice thick layer of embossing powder. It's not thin, and I don't know, I'm really quite happy with this set of embossing. Okay, and I was again using that Ranger lettera block because it has those grid lines. So now for the 2U, I thought I'd go over to the ink collections and choose the shadow gray ink. Like I said, I just wanted it to be a little bit different so that the congrats kind of stood out, and the 2U was a bit more subtle. Now this is the very first time I'm using the stamp, so I usually like to stamp it one time just to make sure I'm going to get a good impression. Looks pretty good. Sometimes also with a brand new stamp, the very first impression of a brand new stamp isn't great. But you just, if you stamp it a few times, it starts to be conditioned and give you a beautiful impression. So as you can see, second time ever stamped, really nice impression there. And so mixing it up, scripty with the more block lettering, and then the two different colors of gray. Next up, I thought it'd be fun to add some details. So I was going to use the Lettera metallic markers. Again, trying to keep it monochromatic, so I'm just going to use the silver. But there are some other gorgeous colors. In my haul video where I shared all of the products, I did a little swatch so that you could see what each of the markers and embossing powders and all of that looked like. So since it says congrats, I thought it might be fun to draw some like streamers, confetti, and some dots. So I can draw some swirls for the streamers. I want to make sure that they don't all look exactly the same. So if I'm starting the curve on the right side, then on the others I want to start the curve on the left side. And I think at first these probably look a little silly, just like little swirls, but I think once you add in the little pieces of confetti, it makes it a little bit more clear what they are. And for confetti, that's obviously quite simple to draw. All you really got to draw is little squares. So you can, even if you feel like, oh, I'm not an artist, I don't know what to do with these hand letter markers, you can draw little doodles quite easily. And at first I wasn't sure if I wanted my confetti solid, but I think that that probably makes more sense to do just because it is kind of a thick marker, so I don't have a large space left blank in all of them, and some of them, since I drew it a little smaller, didn't have any spaces left. So some confetti, and then to finish it off, it's kind of like an additional type of confetti, just putting in some dots, kind of help fill it out as well. And I like the idea that you could do something very simple like this for a birthday too, and it has a really nice elegant look to it. So that's going to be it for me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in more crafting tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this letter line set of videos, and I hope that you enjoyed it and learned some new techniques with them. And I'll leave you links in the video description below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!